A bigger sample size for Edison Podcast Metrics. From London, the latest from our daily newsletter at podnews.net. Edison Research will increase the sample size of Edison Podcast Metrics by 150%, moving to 5,000 interviews of weekly podcast listeners per quarter. The data is the only comprehensive podcast ranker available in the US. Deborah James, the host of the BBC's podcast You, Me and the Big C, has died. Dame Deborah James had been receiving end-of-life care for bowel cancer at home and had raised more than $8.5 million for cancer research. She was 40. Here's a clip. It contains some confronting language that probably shouldn't be.
I'm 36 years old. I was diagnosed just over a year ago to be told that after 6 months of a change of bowel habits, basically where I was pooing blood. I'm going to be very frank because I think one of the biggest problems is that people are not frank enough about the symptoms that led to their diagnosis, and then as a result it holds up their diagnosis. So I was pooing blood and eventually got diagnosed with a 6.5 centimetre tumour up my bum, basically.
Deborah James from the You, Me and the Big C podcast. Spotify and Anchor have debuted Radar Podcasters, a podcast creator version of the Spotify program designed to spotlight emerging voices worldwide. The companies start by highlighting more than 40 creators around the world. Substack has added additional tools to create voiceovers, text-to-speech or audio embeds to posts. Rode has released version 1.0.4 firmware for the Rodecaster Pro 2. James Burt from Phonic Agency has highlighted what genre works and what doesn't on Spotify, according to his own agency's data. Podcast Movement has published the full 2022 schedule for the August event in Dallas. The Writers Guild of America East's Audio Alliance, which aims to represent writers of scripted podcasts, is running a town hall meeting tonight from 8 p.m. Eastern. Anyone's invited. And the Reasons to Be Cheerful podcast is doing a live show in London on Sunday, July the 17th. And in podcast news, Class Action with Katie Fang tracks a diverse cast of outstanding law students who are battling it out in mock trial competitions across the country. We're promised the chance to follow these lovable lawyers. Who knew? It's produced by Sound Argument and iHeartMedia. An abortion rights podcast, Ordinary Equality, is back for a new season. Hosts Kate Kelly and Jameer Wilson ask, what now? What does resisting bans and seeking care look like in a world without federal protection of abortion access? And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe, we're at podnews.net.